The wine glass exploded against the hardwood, shards glittering as red wine spread across the floor like blood beneath the dim chandelier. Sarah's laughter died in her throat. Around the table, faces froze, friends, neighbors, their smiles turning brittle. David sat unmoving, his knuckles white around his fork, the silver catching the light like a blade. "It was just a joke," Sarah said quickly, her voice trembling. "You know, like one of those reality shows. Spouse swapping." No one laughed. The silence thickened, the air charged with something that felt dangerous. Her words seemed to have struck a nerve, like she'd said something she shouldn't, something too close to the truth. The evening had begun so pleasantly. Their dining room, painted a soft sage green, glowed with candlelight and comfort. The scent of rosemary and garlic clung to the air, mingling with the rich aroma of lamb and red wine. Sarah had wanted the night to be perfect, to welcome their new neighbors, Claire and Tom, with warmth and charm. David had been his usual self, smooth, polite, effortlessly sociable. But as the second bottle of wine dwindled, Sarah's teasing comment about trading partners for a weekend landed like a spark in dry grass. Claire's smile faltered, her eyes darting toward Tom, who coughed awkwardly. David froze, his fork hovering, jaw clenched tight in a way that sent a chill through her. Sarah tried to laugh it off, but her heart pounded painfully. "Come on, it was a joke." Even to her own ears, her voice sounded hollow. Claire didn't answer. Tom just stared at his plate, tapping his fingers in a nervous rhythm. David pushed his chair back, the screech of wood on wood slicing through the quiet. "I need some air," he muttered, leaving the table. Sarah felt something inside her twist. The atmosphere had shifted, no longer cozy, but oppressive, suffocating. She busied herself in the kitchen, rinsing plates that didn't need rinsing, her thoughts spinning. Had she said something wrong? Too forward? She prided herself on her wit, on keeping things lively, but the look on David's face lingered in her mind. It hadn't been anger. It had been fear. When he returned, his face was pale, drawn tight. "We need to talk," he said quietly, glancing toward the walls as if they had ears. Later, after the guests had gone, they sat together on the couch in silence. The air between them felt brittle. David's eyes avoided hers, fixed instead on the framed photo of their wedding day. "What's going on?" Sarah finally asked. "You've been off all night." "It was just a stupid joke." David let out a sharp breath, his hands curling into fists. "It's not the joke, Sarah. It's everything." Her pulse quickened. "Everything? What are you talking about?" He began pacing, the shadows shifting across his face. "I saw the way Tom looked at you. Like he knew something." "Knew what?" she asked, bewildered. "I saw you two last week," he said suddenly. "At the coffee shop. You didn't see me, but I saw you. Laughing. Touching his arm." His voice cracked. Sarah's stomach dropped. She remembered the encounter, an innocent chat over lattes. She might have brushed his arm, sure, but that was just her, animated, expressive. Nothing more. "David, that's ridiculous," she said, but her voice shook. He didn't answer. His silence was worse than any accusation. In the days that followed, their home became a quiet battlefield. David barely spoke. His phone was always in his hand, the screen lighting up his face in the dark. When she reached for him, he flinched. The warmth between them seemed to drain away, leaving only doubt. Then, one night, her phone buzzed. A text from Claire. "We need to talk. It's about Tom and David." Sarah's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" She typed back. "Not over text. Tomorrow. The park. 10 a.m. She barely slept. David's steady breathing beside her felt foreign, almost rehearsed. The next morning, the park was damp with autumn, the air sharp and cold. Claire sat waiting, wrapped tightly in her scarf, eyes red. "I didn't want to believe it," she began, her voice barely audible. "But I found something." She handed Sarah her phone, an image of a hotel receipt, dated 2 months earlier. "Tom said he was at a conference," Claire whispered. "But I called his office. There was no conference." Sarah felt her world tilt. The late nights. The locked phone. The excuses. David was with him, she said, her voice breaking. Claire nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. I think so. Sarah sank onto the bench, the ground shifting beneath her. That night, she confronted David, shaking, holding out Claire's phone. Tell me the truth. What were you doing with Tom? David's face collapsed, not in guilt, but in something like relief. It's not what you think, he said softly. We weren't like that. He's been helping me. I'm in debt. Bad investments. I didn't want you to know. Sarah's breath hitched. Relief and anger collided in her chest. Why didn't you tell me? She cried. I'm your wife. David's eyes were hollow. I was ashamed. I thought I could fix it. The truth sat between them. Ugly, heavy, real. It wasn't betrayal of the body, but of trust. And Sarah realized that the fracture in their marriage hadn't started with her joke. It had been there all along, a fault line beneath their perfect life, waiting for the slightest tremor to break it open.